clogged. I've been futzing around with it this morning. Um, this stream is really, I don't really know what I'm going to do here, but what I do have is all these. So for those people that have been waiting for a gasket, or rather spacer, for your 2095, because they're not made anymore, I've got them. And it cost a gajillion dollars to get these made, so they will be for sale, and they're not going to be cheap. But the issue with these is that there was a mica spacer that was here, and unfortunately, the mica spacer disintegrates over time. When you take it off and you're taking everything apart, it tends to break, and they're no longer available. Now, here's the thing about the aluminum. The aluminum is not a good thermal insulator. The mica was actually intended to be a thermal insulator. Um, what are you supposed to do for manufacturing these? How do you manufacture a mica gasket? I don't know. I don't know. So, best I can do is aluminum. If that's the one part that's holding you up from getting these saws running, then it's worth it to run that. The downside is that because the gas tank is actually part of the crankcase, the insulation properties of mica mean that you're not going to impart as much heat, and therefore you're less likely to boil the gas in the gas tank. I think that's what the issue is. Steelman, Johnny Red in the house. Yes. So, I mean, it's not like there's a lot of choice here, though. That's the thing. It's not like we're sitting around with, oh, shoot, we got lots of options. No, there's one option. It's either put this on the shelf or run the aluminum gasket, at least for now. Um, Maybe I can get it manufactured in a different material. I don't know. I figured just get some manufactured in aluminum, get this thing running. Is it going to be good to run all day? No, but this is not a saw you're going to run all day every day either. I mean, it's a Jonsered 2095. Is you're going to run this for a couple of cuts, and then you're going to call it a day, because this thing's a monster. And that's if you're going to run it for a couple of cuts. So hang on, trying to read the comment. Aluminum gasket with 3 bond. Yeah. So what I did was, I mean, there's still some insulation with the gasket. So, I mean, it's not like there's zero insulation with a gasket. There's some. Is it as much as the mica? No. So I put this on here. It's just tacked right now with 3 bond, and this is all pretty well shined up. So pretty good looking cylinder. So I figured I'd just put this on down, and call it. I'm not even changing out the rings on here. This has very little use. It does have some damage here on the piston, which I kind of cleaned up. The rings are perfectly free. That's fine. So I figured I'd lube this all good and slap it together. I do need a clip on this side. I do need to lube it up. And I can't see comments right now, so let me bring you up here. It's easier for me to look at comments than it is over there. Blah, 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 blah. What a mess. The 2095. Yeah, I don't know exactly how he made the spacers. They are machined. I know that. They're not. They're definitely not punched. I think what actually happened was he probably stacked them up, cut them, stacked them, and then just cut the whole thing out with a single shot, and then they just, you know, I think that's what he went for, but I don't know. The 2095 would be compatible. Basically, it's probably closest to a 394 head, but it's like a 394 head with an intake boot instead of a block. So it's dual port, not quad port, so it's more like 394 in that way. Um, it's got, I think it's a 395 crank because it's M8 here. I think it's essentially a 395 crank. I don't know about the piston. Kind of looks more like a 395 piston. It's the same bearings, 6203s on either side, same seals as 395. I don't think they're surface ground. No, I think it was stacked and then machined somehow. But I don't know how we did it. The good news is going forward, I think they're relatively inexpensive to have made, but they were really expensive off the bat, and I doubt I'm going to sell very many. Okay, now I need clip here. It's just not a common part, so but if you're missing it, if you don't got it, you don't got it. There's really no other way around it. I mean, if you don't have that spacer, your saw is going to sit on the shelf. And the reason I say that is because you can't even you can't machine the head enough to get rid of that spacer without dropping the head significantly, and then you run into with case issues like actual fitment issues. Okay, so we got both clips in there. I'm not going to use any goop on the gasket itself. Just going to put the gasket down. It's a new gasket. I'm going to lube up the bearing super good. Lots of 2-cycle in here. Let's do a little blue Loctite on the head bolts. Okay. So I don't think I need to install anything else here. I will do. This line, it looks fine, but it's old. Might as well do new rubber line. And it really does not want to come off. Old rubber. There's actually no ribbing, and it still didn't want to come off. always a good idea to make sure there's patency here. There is. So let's get some fresh line here. I'm going to use steel R5. That. Steel R5 is impulse rated for the 200T. Pretty sure it's good for fuel too. It tends to be a little more supple than R3. There we go. Good. Did I check for squish? Yeah, well, I already checked squish. The good news is I've already checked squish. It was about 43 thousandths, which is fine. 43 thousandths is a little bit much for my liking, but I'm not going for a high compression saw here. This is not a super performance thing. If you wanted some more performance, then what you do is you can actually, I wonder if I could actually order the have him make the gaskets 20 thousandths thinner. That's possible. And then you definitely have a really nice squish, but we're not going for that here. I don't need 200 pounds of compression. You just have the, you can have the cylinder head machine too, but you don't want to do much. The way the configuration of this is, of the intake tract, it looks like it would be tricksy to mod. So Loctite's on, circlips are on. Bring this down to more or less bottom dead center. We're gonna gently get this into position. And we can throw our head bolts in here. I like to get the most accessible one in first. That way that at least lines up. Can't forget this part. You can easily. Don't want to do that. Normally I'd be cleaning the whole thing up. But I can't here because I can't split it because the case gasket itself is not available, which means the bearings last until they don't, and that's that, and that's unfortunate. Hey, Nikki, haven't seen you in a bit. I know you haven't seen me in a bit, right? These are same head bolts for like a 288. Like 272 doesn't too. And then I think there's one more. Yeah, we're working on a 2095 here, which, have to be honest, this is my first go on a 2095. These head bolts are indeed quarter 20. With a 3/16 head. Now we take your calibrated arm here. Take them down gentle and even. Make sure nothing's binding or anything like that. It's all fine all the way around. Okay, now we make sure they're good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Ta-da! And then it's just building it back from there, I guess. Once that's good. What would be reasonable is for me to have a spark plug. I'm going to put a new one in here, but I just want to throw this one in. Actually, I better not throw this one in. That's where the damage came from. Piece of spark plug. Well, let's see if I can. You see that missing? There's a piece of ceramic missing. Yikes. So I'm not going to put that plug back in there. I am going to save that because Tracy's going to want to see that, I think. And what we can do is we can throw the flywheel on. Yeah, sure. I'll put the things back on. I'll put the balls back on first. I wish I knew how to put this thing back together, but I don't. It's all going to be by guess and by golly in this one, because it's been a while since I took it apart. Oh, wait a minute. I was forgetting. I can't put that on. I need to redo that seal. I did this seal, so that's good. I need to do this seal. I haven't done that yet. I was waiting to put this on because I didn't want to knock up dirt here. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend reusing a spark plug either. You're right. I'm going to save it so the customer can see what the actual issue was. Piece of ceramic knocking around. That's what that piece was that I had dug out for that piston, which is why I'm not replacing the piston. I'm not even replacing the rings because the rings are fine. The piston are just shined up. Should be fine. This saw is only going to last as long as the bearings last, and then unfortunately it's probably going to be scrapped because you can't get a case gasket, which is terrible, but that's the reality. Actually, I can measure this too, just to, before I take this out. It wouldn't be a bad idea to measure it. About 4 millimeters. Yeah, it's 4 millimeters down. Okay. And it's down far enough that it's out of the way of the flywheel. Similar to 395, sort of. $394, $395, similar. Adam Bagley, how's it been? Watching a ton of nice. Needs a full rebuild. Good. Yes. Tear it down. Tear it down. Tear it down. Don't even think about it. Don't even question it, because you're gonna waste time questioning it. Don't wait. Don't question it. Just tear it down. Eventually the seal moves. Good. Okay. Let me go in here and clean around here just a little bit. Again, normally I'm not used to doing it this way. I usually just tear things right down and clean them all so it's all clean before I do new bearings and seals, as opposed to right now everything's kind of dirty. This saw is, I would assume it's 2002. It says 02. That's probably 2002. So nearly, it is 20 years old. 20 years old. You think the seals are bad? Oh yeah. They're done. I just use Q-tips to get in here. Tend to be quite handy. All right, let's see if this finally moves. There we go. Pop. Seal comes out. Again, I'll save that. Hey, Earl. Yesterday, busted class A. You get me better. Yep. Do everything new case half. Does have a small crack. Well, that's what you use the welder for. I've got 2 case halves right now that I got to weld up. I had somebody else messaged me about welding up a case half, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Hey, Mega. Welcome. Let's make sure this is all nice and clean. Brake cleaner around here. That'll do. And normally I go in there and with the wire wheel and the whole bit, but can't do that here. These highway seals are just fine. There's no issues with these. What I will do is I will use my seal installer on this one, because there's a little bit of a lip there. Loctite 518 anaerobic. So these seal installers, in case you wanted to know what the part number is, highly suggested. So this is for 6203 bearings. It's 50250 5201. 50250 5201. I'm just going to put that on there like that. I'm going to slide that on down. These are the crank tools. They're not seal installers, but you know. Actually, you know what? I need a full shoot here. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Just a aluminum tube. You can use a deep socket too. Now, they do have a hat that you can use and go clunk. Now, I would not seat it in one shot. Here you have to worry about depth, but if you have the adapter or whatever, I wouldn't seat it in one shot, because if there's any momentum to the seal, it's going to go too deep. For cleaning cases, I've been using Mean Green in the ultrasonic. It depends on really what you're doing. It does tend to fade husky orange. So Adam, I would weld it. If the cracks anywhere that is structural, needs to be welded. I've used JB Weld before. It doesn't really hold that well in those applications. Yeah, you can use dishwashing liquid and hot water too. Use brake clean and quite a bit of stuff. .23. Okay. .04. 3.17. Shallow. Okay, so I'm gonna do 3.15. 3.82. There we go. Now we're getting there. 2.84. So we got a millimeter here. Still 3.85 there. It takes a minute to get this just set just right. That's okay. 3.5. Usually, if you can do plus or minus 1/10 of a millimeter, that's what I kind of aim for. 3.67. 3.61. 3.68. Tippy tap. 3.8. 3.7, 3.8, 3.77. That's, yeah. You know what? I'm going to push it just a hair more because I need the lip to be a little further down. It's really hard to get this just right. I'll bring the phone over so you guys can see. So let me get the pointer here. So you can see the lip from here to there. It's got to be just beyond. So there we go. See how it's just beyond there? Even all the way around. That's about as even as you're going to get. Okay. Should we measure it one last time just for the heck of it? 4. Right on. 4.1. 4. That's fine. Leave it. Don't touch. Don't touch. Okay. See, now that this is good, now I can get flywheel on. That said, went up to weld magnesium cases. How much would it cost? Yeah, it depends on the shop doing it. You can get a welder that'll do it for about $1,000. If somebody's doing it for you, then the prices tend to be all over the map because magnesium is not easy to do. I've been doing some, and I can show you. This is not machined yet, but you build it up. See, there's no hole, there's no drill and tap there yet. Build it up. And this will get machined. I'll have to machine this out and then have these blasted and powdered. Tell you one thing, I don't need another 288. Anyway. So, anywho. Do need pretty clean surfaces. I'll put a little bit of blue Loctite on this. We'll use a torque wrench to seat that. Seat it gentle, and then I'll torque wrench it. But I gotta get nylon rope is the best piston stop. not going to damage anything. I think the actual spec is like 26 foot-pounds. I don't go that far. It's a lot. I think that's the actual spec on all of these, but you don't need to. Yeah, so the cylinder head looks a lot like 394, but with an intake boot. It's a really kind of an odd configuration. Okay, what's next on this thing? So I did both seals. Guess I can work on the oil then next. That's not unreasonable. Let's get the flywheel finished up. Yep, I'm live. What's going on, buddy?
After your video, can you order pizza?
Okay, I'll order pizza. That sounds good. I'll be up in a little bit. All right. Let's get the balls here. A little bit of blue Loctite. Now this flywheel did go through the ultrasonic. M4 here, or rather 4mm, M5, 4mm head. Here we go. What else is here? Let's see. Hey, John. Yeah, you can laugh. That's all right. Everybody laughs at me. I think it was funny. See, if you actually saw my setup, though, and how disorganized I am, you'd understand exactly how this works for me. Get it down most of the way, and make sure that this is kind of in the right spot. That's it. And it should just gently go, you know. Good. Okay. Maybe oiler next. Maybe. I'll put some of this stuff away. The rest of this is not very exciting at all, I don't think. I'm just going to put it back together stock, you know. Now this oiler, it does work, but it's all gunked up. This needs to come apart. Yeah, I don't think I've taken this apart yet, so. Let's put this down. Definitely something I do fairly often is take oilers apart. Seems like a reasonable thing to do because you just want to degunk an oiler. You don't want it jamming up on you at the wrong time. Whatever. Let's get rid of that. This. Shining up the head. If anybody wants powder coat, Glock is the guy on that. For 2095, I'm pretty sure that a lot of this stuff is no longer made. The big issue for me is the case gasket. You can't get the case gaskets, so I can't split it. The bearings are no problem. The seals are no problem. The darn case gasket for those things, no longer made. That's a problem. So the other thing is the spacers, which now I have. Pretty much the only guy on the planet you can buy it from. No pop today? I doubt it. I doubt it. I'm really not quite that ambitious, but also, I don't know if I have everything to pop it. I might, but I'm not confident I have everything that's needed to pop. Boy, this gets so clogged. Tons of stuff I just don't need. Part of an oiler. So I just took apart an oiler for the 288 together, which I was doing off camera. That right now. I know. We're gonna get everything here. Let's see what happens. Put everything away. See what I need. I definitely need that. I don't need this. Okay. All right. So we're doing oilers. Do a new piece of paper here. Let's do a piece of paper. New fish paper. You'd be able to get. You might. Maybe. The whole intake needs reconfiguring. I don't know. Maybe. So I like to use my easy outs to get rid of this white thing. And then should be able to undo this with a regular flat blade. See ya, Steelman. The copper washer is out. Copper washer against the spring. I don't know if it really matters. Wire brush. Okay. Stainless first, then copper, then spring. It's a little bit simpler than the 288 one here. There's a ball detent here that needs lube. Still working. Nice and smooth. Super clean it's not, but it's definitely smooth. There, we'll leave it there. Cool. Okay. Now what do we need? Don't forget the white piece. There you go. Turn smooth. Nice. So now you have an oiler that's reconfigured. This way, don't need that anymore. clean. So seal area nice and clean too. I don't want to put, that can go down, that's fine. Stainless steel washer, in case anybody wants. I'm going to post substitutes for these. I think this is 28 by 15. These washers are always missing for some dumb reason. 28. The ID here is 15. It's a millimeter thick. Right on a millimeter. So these are thrust washers. You can find them on eBay. It's like $20 for 50 of them. One of these is like $5 or $8 or something stupid. I mean, it's just the amount of money that they want for part. You know, some of this stuff is just completely unreasonable. Parts here. Oil line. Nice and clean, not clogged. It's fine. Again, you can check patency if you want. Okay. Now for the oil line here, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to goop that, but I will goop this 1184. Just to make darn sure that it seals. So there. Brand new quad ring. Again, I have some video that I think I'll post later on quad rings. 501 288501. You can get these from, I think it's McMaster Car. It's also called a quad ring. They're actually very, very, very common. They're a 1/4 inch outer diameter, 1/8 inch inner diameter, 1/16 of an inch cross sectional area. Quad ring or X ring. That just goes there. If you're using a new piece, I don't put any goop on it. Okay. And Loctite on those bolt holes. Those are fine. And now we're gooped up. These are actually M4 and 4mm, so a fairly unique screw. And that's fully seated all the way around. Boiler. There we go. This all get an ultrasonic and make sure it's good before I do that. So I'd say that's pretty good for the day. What do you guys think? Hey Al. Yep. Piney Woods. Yeah, fuel's getting real expensive. Yeah, I know. All right. Yeah. So what else is going on? What else do we need to do here? I'd say that's pretty good for the day. Looks good. Always nice to hit things with a little bit of lube. Do I really feel like doing any more? No. I may finish it off camera, just because this is hopefully by rote putting back together. I took it all apart previously, so hopefully it'll go back together the same way it went. Because I don't remember. I don't remember how this went together. So rather than do too much stumbling here, I've got some stuff I got to stick in the ultrasonic here anyway. Looks like that wire there needs a little resolder. Great. Yeah, I think I'll call it. Really, the hard stuff is done now. It's just assembly, but I would definitely be fumbling through it. That's for sure. Going forward. Questions, comments, anything else, guys? Yeah, I don't think I'd get a pop today because I don't know about the carburetor situation, about the wires here and whatever else I might have to do. Little, just kind of little baloney. I gotta get through in order to get this back running, but it's definitely on its way. Hey, Stanley. Oh, Stanley. How's Chipper? Is Chipper okay? Stanley, I don't know if I told you. I don't know if I don't remember making the announcement. We lost Polly Bird. She passed away January 1st. So there won't be any more squawking in the background, in case anybody's wondering, because Polly was 27 years old, so she's passed. Yeah, Mega. If I can, if I get it to pop, then you know, I'll show you guys for sure. Right now, it's just putting it back together. I don't. Yeah, things are quiet. Yeah, Chip's elated, man. Good. Okay, as long as Chip's good. Yeah. If I have something that I think is interesting, I'll definitely come on and show you guys. But for right now, I'm not. This is just gonna kind of go back together in stock fashion. So I really don't know exactly what to think about that. um, but if I come up with something interesting, I'll let you guys know. Okay. So I'm out then. Everybody be good. Take care, and we'll see you guys soon. Be safe in the snow. Later, guys. Bye, Chip.